up, guys? Anthony here with my bro Ransom.
Hello.
We just watched Star Wars Episode 14, Trials of the Darksaber.
Oh my.
Wow. Seriously, chills in this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so fucking good. And I'm going to get right off the bat and say that reveal at the beginning of the episode of a Mandalorian Jedi named Tar Vizsla is the best thing that has ever happened out of this entire series.
Well, and it just gives so much more depth to the Mandalorian Wars.
Yes. And something that we've hinted at many, many times and really gives us a hard, concrete, proof of that concept. Because I loved how Fen Rao just goes back. He's like, a legend has 1,000 years ago, this Jedi or this Mandalorian called Tar Vizsla was inducted into the Jedi Order, and that's an interesting thing there. Mm-hmm. Mandalorian of the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
So he was on the Jedi side of things when he was originally alive, and he made this Darksaber, which is cool.
Yeah.
And it also is another cool thing where it's like not every Jedi's lightsaber is a green or a blue.
Yeah.
Or a yellow.
Yeah.
It can be dark too, and I like that concept too. And which is also cool because the Darksaber has this white outline too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Little symbolism there. And how this saber then after his death and put I guess you could say interred at the Jedi Temple was stolen and then used as a rally cry against the Jedi Order, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That lore building alone would have made the episode great. But then we get this awesome training montage of Sabine learning how to use the Darksaber, a lightsaber, confirmed now. We thought it was kind of like an electro sword or something that. No, it's a lightsaber.
No, it does have a kyber crystal in it.
Yes. And I love the way Kanan explains how to use the blade as a current.
Yes.
It's not as much a stick or a sword as it is a current of power. And I love that explanation. It's weight.
Yeah. Because the lightsaber always comes to the Jedi Knight, but in this case, it comes to Sabine and how they talk about early in the episode how it was not just a coincidence that she comes across this weapon.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was cool how he explains to Hera when Hera's questioning him about what's his training method and everything, about how, is it because she doesn't have the Force? And it's no, well, the Force is in us all, but it's that she won't open herself up to the possibilities of it, which is an interesting concept. So, maybe some people, again, like acolytes of the Sith that can't really use the Force in those strong ways. It's a concept that literally your ability to use the Force is only as much as you open yourself up to it, which I like. And also, I like how the Force is still residing in this saber, and you have to be open to the current of power that it represents, which makes lightsaber training have a whole new meaning. It's kind of like how we always thought that the Force crystal is this incredible symbol of how you literally focus your energy and focus your power into this one current of energy. And I like that concept so much.
Yeah. And while they're training with the Darksaber, Sabine's talking about it and how at first it's heavy, and then as she starts using it more and more, she's like, oh, it feels light.
Yeah, and it's because you're opening yourself.
Yeah.
Sorry. I just
And another thing that I picked up on, while he's talking to Hera about how she's closed-minded, he starts giving a reasoning, and then she's like, is it because she's Mandalorian? And he's like, yes. So it kind of...
Typical Mandalorian, yeah.
Well, and it kind of symbolizes how there's even though he's a Jedi and he's patient, he still has a little bit of racism towards Mandalorians because of the conflict that they've had.
And maybe racism isn't the right word.
Yeah, but discrimination. Yeah.
What's the right word here? stereotypes.
Yeah.
You know, maybe not with like trying to look negatively or one way on them. He's not even opening himself up to possibilities in a way. And once Hera points this out and corrects his way of thinking, I think it helped him understand how best to approach the training for Sabine. And when Sabine was allowing herself to open up and explain why she left and how that all went down, that was so cool. Because every time that the Empire is explained in these scenes where we don't understand how the Empire used its fear to dominate other cultures. You know, we've only seen it through a certain point of view. And I like seeing it more in different aspects too. Mm-hmm. And I like how that she was trying to protect her family. It wasn't her running away from the Empire.
Yeah.
It was her standing up to fight what she thought was right. And protect them against the weapons that she was helping to develop and enslave her own people.
Yeah.
Of course she couldn't stand up for that. But then her family was so set in their ways that they stayed true to what they thought the Empire was. And this is a concept that I thought was incredibly well done in Lost Stars, where sometimes a culture's philosophy gets in its own detriment and its own way because of these traditions. It's the only way to think, so we must continue on that path. Yeah. We can't accept anything other than that, and that is what's true. No, not always. You need to open yourself up to the possibilities, and that's what this episode is all about. And I think in our own modern times, too, this message is so true for now. And I love it when Star Wars gets me into that mindset where I'm like, this is so important, you know? And it makes me reflect on everything in our own lives, too. I thought that reveal of Sabine was so good. I think Sabine is going to be a much bigger character than we thought.
Yeah. And I just love how, as we keep talking about Mandalorians and Rebels, it still, like, keeps up with the history that was built even in Clone Wars.
Yes.
And it just really,
enhances.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah. This episode was...
Ransom, tell the good folks your theories.
Oh, okay. So, as the spelling might be a little different, if the theory of Ezra being Snoke is true, then it would make sense that the Knights of Ren were based off of what Sabine starts when she reunites all of the Mandalorians.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? One of the things here that we were thinking, and this is how Ransom explained it to me, I'm like, that's an interesting point. We saw so much Mandalorian-type armor. In fact, we saw Boba Fett-type helmet on one of these Knights of Ren in that flashback scene in The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And Sabine's last name is Ren. Have we been missing something that's been there for a very long time?
Yeah.
Maybe. And who's to say that in her name, Ezra, when he becomes maybe Snoke, if this theory is true, makes this as a homage to maybe a fallen compatriot.
Or it's kind of...
Or he takes over.
Yeah. Or it's kind of like an accomplishment that he names it after her. Because in this episode, we do kind of see him get a little, like, kind of standoffish, because...
He was a little bit of a dick in this one. I was getting annoyed with Ezra a lot of times.
I kind of enjoyed it because it's kind of this, like, seeing this, like, competition between him and Sabine being Caden's apprentice. You know?
Very true.
So maybe it's like she unites Mandalore and, you know, creates this army for the rebels to have, but then something goes on between Sabine and Ezra, and maybe, you know, he starts fighting her for competition.
Well, but maybe the inverse is true there too, where, totally she, like, goes down in a blaze of glory. Or maybe we're overthinking this, and maybe Ezra's not even attached to the Knights of Ren, and then it's just Sabine controlling these people. True. You know? Who knows? But needless to say, this episode just got our minds swimming with all these possibilities.
Yeah.
It was so well written, well acted in a sense of animation, and voice acting, and it was so good.
Yeah.
This is the promise, I think, of what season 3 of Rebels could be, where we get these incredible episodes that enhance the lore of the Star Wars universe to the nth degree. And I really, really like that so much. And I love that shot of her sitting down, and then she gets up, and then from that perch area that she was on, that rock area, she's next to the Bendu.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, what's up with that?
Well, especially because, like, when he turns around, he kind of has this face of, like...
He's, like, interesting.
Yeah. He's like, what's going to happen next? Yeah.
Yeah, so, God, this episode is so fucking good. All right. Best of the season?
So far, I'd say. Yeah.
I think so, too. And I'm even saying that on top of episode 2 and the really cool stellar opening we got.
Oh my gosh.
Which both were good episodes, but there's something about this that strikes at every part of my inner Star Wars geek.
Yes.
This whole reveal of this Jedi Mandalorian badass.
Well,
this whole confirmation, more hints at the Mandalorian War going back to Old Republic.
If we think about it, really, this is the first confirmation we've had about the Old Republic.
Not the first.
Well,
but more of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, because like we've had a little bit of it from Clone Wars, but this, after, figuring out what's canon or not, this really like starts giving more to what's been behind in the timeline of Star Wars.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's like, man, if they are hinting so much at this, does that mean that they're gearing up around the corner for a TV show, a movie on this?
I mean, we have to start thinking about what else they're going to do after the Han Solo spin-off movie.
I mean, if they're not going to confirm the Old Republic game into canon, then they need to start working out their version of what the proper Old Republic canon is. Because clearly, fans want this, and in these moments, I think the storytellers want this too.
Mm-hmm.
They keep referencing it. It's like blowing my mind.
Yeah.
So get on it, give it to us, and we will love it, because this stuff is what I love about Rebels.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, guys. What did you think of this latest episode? I can't imagine anyone not liking it.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be shocked if you did, but if you thought so, let us know. And if you loved it, tell us what you loved about it too in the comments below. All right, guys. We will see you next week. Hopefully, we'll see. I do have a bit of a trip to go on.
Yes.
If you wanted to do it by yourself, though, too, you could. It's up to you. But until next time, guys, we'll catch you here.
All right. See ya.